welcome to Thelina. If you feel a little tired of the digital world, you are in the right place. This video is for those who wish to pause for a moment. In a world that never stops accelerating, today, we are not here to fix anything, to change ourselves, or to push beyond our limits. We are simply here to look together, gently, without haste, with awareness. This series approaches dopamine detox, not as a list of restrictions, but as an invitation to mindfully observe the relationship we have built with the digital world. The goal is not to remove screens from our lives, but to place them in a conscious, balanced space that truly supports our well-being. Before we begin, if the Series 1 Create resonates with you and brings you ease, with your support we can reach many more hearts. Your subscription, likes, and comments mean more to me than you know. Thank you in advance. Now, let us begin this new journey together. 1. Not everything needs your attention. Today, we are not here to change ourselves, fix our habits, or become better versions of who we are. We are simply here to notice. Notice how often your attention moves away from you. How easily it is invited, pulled, nudged, sometimes without your consent. Dopamine is not the enemy. It is a natural chemical, designed to motivate, reward, and help us survive. But in a world where almost everything competes for it, dopamine slowly stops being a guide and becomes a loop. Notifications arrive. Screens light up. Your hand reaches for your phone before a thought even forms. Not because you want to, but because your nervous system has learned to respond. This episode is not asking you to stop scrolling. It is asking you to observe the moment before the scroll. What were you feeling just before you picked up your phone? Was it boredom, loneliness, a pause between two tasks? A subtle discomfort? Most of us were never taught how to sit with these small gaps. We learn to fill them quickly. Dopamine-driven content trains the brain to expect constant stimulation. Over time, silence feels heavy, stillness feels unfamiliar, and being alone with our thoughts can feel strangely uncomfortable. But discomfort is not danger. It is information. Today, allow yourself to notice without judging. Notice how many times your attention is redirected outward. Notice how your body reacts when there is nothing new to consume. You don't need to correct anything. Awareness itself is already a shift. If you feel restless, that's okay. If you feel calm, that's okay too. Nothing needs to be labeled as success or failure. At Thelina Soul, we believe that attention is sacred energy. Where it goes, your inner world follows. For now, simply stay curious. Not everything that asks for your attention deserves it. And not every moment needs to be filled. Sometimes, the most powerful act is noticing, and gently choosing to stay. 2. The illusion of constant stimulation. We live in a world that rarely allows the mind to rest. Content is endless. Stories never stop. There is always something new, something louder, something faster. At first, it feels exciting, stimulating, alive. But over time, constant stimulation begins to blur into exhaustion. This episode is about an illusion. The idea that being constantly entertained means being fulfilled. Social media trains the brain to seek novelty, not depth. To move on quickly. To react, rather than reflect. You may notice that after long periods online, your mind feels scattered. Your body feels tired, even though you haven't moved. And yet, stopping feels difficult. This is not a personal failure. It is conditioning. The nervous system adapts to what it repeatedly experiences. When stimulation is constant, silence can feel unfamiliar. almost empty. But emptiness is not absence. It is space. In this episode, we gently explore what happens when stimulation fades. What thoughts surface when there is no content to distract you? What emotions appear when the screen goes dark? Many people discover that restlessness masks something deeper. Unprocessed feelings, unacknowledged needs, a longing for presence. You were not meant to consume endlessly. You were meant to experience. This is not about deleting apps or escaping modern life. It is about seeing clearly. When you notice the illusion, its grip softens. You begin to choose more consciously. Less urgency, more intention. And in that space, something quiet but real begins to return. Your own rhythm. 3. Reclaiming your focus. Your attention is one of the most valuable resources you have. It shapes your thoughts, your emotions, and your sense of self. Yet most of us give it away without realizing it. This episode invites you to see focus not as discipline, but as devotion. Each moment you choose where to place your attention. You are choosing what kind of inner world you will live in. Dopamine-driven platforms are designed to fragment focus. Short clips, quick rewards, endless scrolling. Over time, sustained attention feels harder. Reading becomes tiring. Listening feels demanding. Silence feels too slow. But focus is not lost forever. It is resting. Here, we practice gentle reclamation. Small pauses, intentional breaks, moments where you choose not to respond immediately. Not resistance, but choice. When you reclaim your focus, you reclaim your energy. You begin to feel more grounded, more present, more connected to yourself. This episode reminds you, your attention is sacred. Treat it with care. 4. Learning to be bored again. Boredom has quietly disappeared from our lives. Not because we no longer experience it, but because we no longer stay with it. The moment boredom appears, a screen lights up, a scroll begins, a distraction arrives. Yet boredom is not a flaw in the system. It is the nervous system asking for space. This episode invites you to gently question why boredom feels uncomfortable, why the mind rushes to fill every empty moment, why silence can feel heavier than noise. When stimulation fades, the brain does something remarkable. It slows, it reorganizes, it begins to listen inward. At first, this can feel restless. Thoughts may wander, the body may search for movement. Old emotions may surface. This is not regression, it is release. Boredom is the threshold between consumption and creation, between reaction and reflection, between noise and inner truth. Many people discover that what they call boredom is actually unexpressed curiosity, forgotten creativity, or a deep need for rest. When you allow boredom to exist without immediately fixing it, the nervous system learns that stillness is safe, that nothing bad happens when nothing happens. In this space, imagination quietly returns. Ideas form without effort. Insight arises without force. This episode is not asking you to seek boredom, but to stop fearing it, to notice how quickly you escape it, to notice what appears when you don't. Boredom is not the absence of meaning. It is the soil where meaning grows. 5. Presence over productivity. We live inside an invisible contract. One that says every moment must be useful. Every pause must be justified. Every day must produce something measurable. This episode gently questions that agreement. You are not a machine designed to perform endlessly. You are a living system designed to breathe, feel, and rest. Dopamine-driven culture rewards speed, output, and visibility. It teaches us that slowing down means falling behind, that rest must be earned, That stillness is something to apologize for. But presence does not need permission. Here, we explore what happens when you allow yourself to exist without optimizing the moment, to drink tea without checking your phone, to walk without tracking steps, to rest without calling it recovery. When productivity becomes identity, rest begins to feel like guilt. This episode releases that weight. Presence is not unproductive. It is restorative. When you are present, the nervous system regulates. The mind softens. The body feels safe again. You may notice that when pressure lifts, clarity returns naturally. Energy flows more honestly. Action becomes more aligned. This is not about doing less forever. It is about no longer forcing yourself to be on all the time. You are allowed to slow down, without explaining yourself, without proving your worth. Your value does not disappear when you rest. It deepens. 6. A new relationship with technology. This final episode is not about leaving the digital world. It is about changing how you meet it. Technology itself is neutral. It amplifies intention. It reflects awareness. The problem is not screens. It is unconscious use. When technology leads, the nervous system follows. When awareness leads, technology serves. This episode invites you to imagine a different relationship. One based on choice, not compulsion. Intention, not habit. A relationship where you pause before opening an app. Where you ask, why am I here? What do I need right now? Sometimes the answer will be connection. Sometimes information. Sometimes rest. And sometimes, the answer will be nothing at all. That moment of asking is already freedom. A conscious digital life does not demand perfection. It allows flexibility, grace, return. You will still scroll sometimes. You will still get distracted. That is human. But now, you notice faster. You return sooner. You choose more gently. Technology becomes a tool again, not a background noise shaping your inner world. You don't need to disappear from the world to belong to yourself. You only need awareness. Again and again. This is not an ending. It is a beginning. A softer way of living, where your attention comes home to you. Closing. You did not have to be perfect today. There was nothing to prove, nothing to fix, nothing you needed to become. Noticing was enough. The simple act of becoming aware is already a quiet form of healing. If something within you slowed down, even slightly, if your breath softened, if your thoughts loosened their grip, if your body felt a little more at ease, then this journey has fulfilled its purpose. Transformation does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it comes as a pause, a deeper exhale, a moment of presence you almost miss, unless you are paying attention. Carry this gentleness with you. You do not need to hold it tightly. Just remember how it felt. To slow down without guilt. To be here without effort. You can return to this place whenever the world feels too fast. For now, let this moment settle. Let it root itself quietly within you. Nothing more is required. You are already enough. Today, we completed a series that gently stepped away from the noise of social media and returned to our inner simplicity. Together, we explored ways to turn our hopes into living manifestations. Remember, life is whispering to you. When you dare to listen to your heart, the path begins to unfold. Until we meet again, stay with light in your heart. I'm Felina, a fellow traveler walking under the same sky, toward the same dream.